सर्वप्रथम त तपाईहरुलाई फेरि पनि नमस्कार छ तपाईहरुले यो कतिको क्लियर देख्नु भएको छ थाहा भएन but then as I've mentioned earlier it's a presentation that our Naya Yuva me along with our Naya Yuva team we've been doing this to the local authorities so that the integration is from both sides not only from our side like from our Nepalese side so that they know about our culture they know about more in detail about Nepalese because they've been let's not say moaning about it, but then there have been more negative comments about, especially since this influx of Nepalese in Rushmore, about why they're here. Oh, it's so easy to get visa from Nepal and all this kind of thing. And also a few other comments that we will go through later on towards the end of this presentation. This is a quick introduction of Nepali culture. And also, as I said, this is in collaboration with Naya Yuva, which is a massive, very successful youth team in Hampshire, I have to say. This is about Naya Yuva, what we do, which is more or less covered. This is all the roles about Naya Yuva, obviously raising awareness and doing this kind of presentations and workshop for a better and safer community and to help our people as well from some ways or the other. And we've been talking about youth should do this, youth should do that, but this is the stuff we've been doing. I don't know, I think it's very bright, so you can't see the pictures over there. But then these are the events we've been doing in past. We've been involving in the community work, and all the volunteers in Naya Yuva as an advocate, an interpreter, they've been doing their best to not only work for the welfare of youth, but also for the elderly people. Our presentation starts with this, just to let the people, local people know where our country is located in the world map and how far away. We just give the brief information about the difference between the GMT times and that sort of thing. I think it's more or less clear enough. And also we do have this slide just to show the geographical division of Nepal, so that this is to show how Nepali culture is influenced by Chinese and Indian culture because of the border as it's being a sandwich between China and India. And the next slide is Pride of Nepal, just to, well, obviously more or less people know about Nepal, but then this is a quick kind of reminder about the pride of Nepal, and obviously not to forget the land of bravest of the brave. The next one is swearing loyalty, because here, though we know that how the recruitment goes on, what's the history behind Gorkha and how it's recruited, all these kind of things, but the local people, they don't know, they just say, oh, Gorkha, they're in British Army and all this kind of thing, but all the difficult phases they have to go through after the recruitment, all this swearing the loyalty and the operations they have to go to, the trainings they have to, months and months training, all this kind of thing. We do give a little history about Gorkha, not just, oh, we are Gorkha kind of thing, so that it's a clear picture, crystal clear for the locals as well. And we have this slide just to show how multi-religious country our Nepal is, not just Hindu or Buddhist, or it has a mix of all the religion, and that's the stats we have over there. And this is a picture of how it kind of follows not only Hinduism or Buddhism, but that it is diversity. And these are the festivals that's celebrated over here, like hugely celebrated, Dasai, Tihar and Tej. The reason behind highlighting these three festivals is because we see people here showing respect to their culture and festival, celebrating these three different festivals, and people walking around in their traditional costume or with the tika, red tika on their head, and local people will be like, they are always curious, and they will be like, why is this, you know, all this kind of thing. So once we have this festival section clear for them, this includes all the when does it fall, what do we do, what is it about, then they have a little bit of a gist of the festivals, and they cooperate, and they just show some respect to our culture as well. So these are the three different festivals that are hugely celebrated over UK. And the caste and ethnic group. Like mentioned earlier, the traditional costume I'm wearing, though it's a Sunwari costume, it's like I said earlier, it's a multi-religious country, and it's a diversity of various castes and creeds and various other cultures. So this is the few example, and this connects to why people over here have different events going on every 3 months, 6 months, and at the end of the day, it's local people will think at the end of the day it's just a Nepali event, but then it does, behind the event, it does have its own value and culture towards the caste and their own groups. And the major ethnic group and the major organizations we have here is Rai Gurung, Limbus, Muggars, and other organizations. And this is the questions being raised, and we had to put this as a common practices, like wearing traditional Nepali ornaments. Like we can see old bojus, and even our moms and aunts, they'll be wearing this kind of ornaments as seen on the slideshows during their festive season. And we explain to them what the value of the ornament is. It is as a pride, respect, and it's like a token of love from their husband, their loved one, or is it traditional? Like as well, I'm wearing this is my grandma, so this dates back to George VI, which is a very 200 years back old antique piece, I have to say. So that's the reason behind we show why do people wear ornaments, that sort of explanation. And greeting, namaste, like people we meet at town or anywhere, at local place, we do namaste. Some of them, they join their hands together as well. Some of them, they bow. But then we tell the locals that this is the way we greet, this is the way we say hello. And the next issue was the common practice was not only in Hampshire, but if you go around anywhere in the UK, some of the Nepalese people, they have this Buddhist flag on their houses, at the back garden or at the gate. So it does have some traditional and cultural values. They hang it just for the peace and prosperity. And the other thing is social gathering as well. Lots of complaints, not complaints, but then it's been an issue in council, like people booking halls and every now and then, that sort of thing. But then we explain to them there are so many festivals and caste, and people come from different backgrounds and tribal group. That's why these functions are being held, though we are Nepali at the end of the day. And these are the types of food. And again, a very common question, why do Nepali, when we enter Nepalese house, it smells a bit of a strong curry or something. So we explain, these are the kinds of food we eat, these are the kind of spices we use. This is why, this is not a smell, it's a flavor. This is why we explain. And sometimes during my presentation, we try to bring some Nepali snacks like momos and that as well. They really enjoyed it. They really enjoy it. And at the end, they come to realize that, oh, this is the spices they use, that's smelling. Education system, like mentioned earlier, we kind of give them a tally between the organization over here and the UK, the systems like police, fire services, education system. We have had very good comments from schools and colleges and education sector. But then there have been a little bit of negative comments like, they're very brilliant, very good, they're good, perfect, but then why they are quiet, shy, that kind of thing. Because especially when they come to UK after finishing just the schooling or halfway schooling, then obviously we know in Nepal how if we keep quiet, the good ones are, sit at the front seat, very quiet and do not question back. But then in here, the more we question back, the more active we are, they're the good ones. It's slightly kind of opposite. That's why we explain more about this as well. This is just, as I mentioned, this is just a fairly brief summary of the presentation. And again, like mentioned earlier, because of the various castes and systems, there were the groups, BGWS, the Tamudhi, and all the NRN and all those organizations. They're there for the welfare of Nepalese people at the end of the day anyway, but then it does come from different roots. And good thing is we have youth groups from universities and college as well. And one of my contestants, she was from Kingston University and she was president there over there as well. Youths are doing really good from university and education sector as well, forming their own youth group and working towards better and good welfare of Nepalese society, Nepalese student. And these are the issues, different cooking habits, which I uh, covered it earlier on, and about elderly people foraging. This has been a common issue, and walking and wandering, mainly the elderly people, because like mentioned earlier, they were grown up in certain ways, certain habit. Obviously, coming over here, they can't adapt to, sitting inside, watching television, going through the papers. They've been, going for a morning walk or evening walk, meeting friends. It's kind of hanging out with their friends, which is not very common in here. And especially for the youth, it says parental guidance and discipline. I wouldn't really complain about that particular subject, but then, yes, there are parents and guardians who are very busy life, busy with their work, so they won't have enough time to give to their children. But then that's not of a big issue, I think. At the end of the day, it depends on individual how to lead a path to a better life. However, guidance and all this parental guidance and advices are obviously required from your parents and guardian. And the big problem, I have to say, is language barrier. We have the volunteers over here who's been working as an advocate and interpreter to gap the bridge between the Nepali and Nepali language and English. So language barrier has been a massive issue to access to the services and the benefits they're entitled to. So that's the biggest issue so far. And the speaking and all this kind of thing, that's just the concerns and issues raised, but then it's just a matter of, I think, discipline and habit, I have to say. And finally, we try to make it clear why Rushmore, why people who come over UK, they choose to live in Rushmore, because one of the very main reason I have to say is the previous and present army connection, because Aldershot and Church Crookham used to be the main base of Gurkha Army Battalion. So because of that connection, and obviously if you go to a new place, you would want to live in a place familiar to you, where you have familiar people around, and where you feel comfy and easy. So that is why people choose to live in Rushmore rather than other places. But then gradually, I think population is increasing other counties as well. And the next thing is, like mentioned earlier, various different Nepalese organizations, which is there for the welfare of Nepalese at the end of the day, and close community and strong support and network, obviously. So this is what we've been doing, and I think not only the youth in Hampshire or in certain counties, but then I think youth has the power of that big power to not only work for the welfare of youth, but then for the elderly people as well, like doing these presentations, and we can spread this kind of information and share these kind of things to your own children or brother and sister, because this kind of questions you might be asked anywhere you will be working at your place. Your colleague might ask, oh, I've seen this Nepali wearing big ornaments and la la la. They might ask this question, so you have to be not ready, but then it's good if you know the answer, because being a Nepali, you should be able to stand up and, defend those kind of comments and answer back to them. And this is, if there's any question, it's more than welcome. Other than that, I think I've pretty much covered. And this is the message to all the youths as well. Let's forget about, don't worry about tomorrow, what you want to do, what you're going to do. Don't talk about the false promises and hopes, but we have to focus the present, what we need to do, because if you do the good at present, the tomorrow it will just make its path on its own. So if there's any question from the judges panel or the audience, more than welcome. I'm more than happy to answer. Otherwise, I will have to end my presentation here. Thank you very much.